You guys, Steve here. Marvel Comics presents Captain America and the Mighty Avengers issue 2. That one is really good. I have read it, but I didn't like it. First, I have to say that I didn't like the face and the design of the new Captain America inverted. That is kind of really, I don't know, messy kind of thing. That's really messed up. So, while the Sea of Cortex Jason Quantrell is planning something sneaky in the background, the Mighty Avengers are dealing with the strange rollerblading crew called the First Five. Is this weird supersuit and rollerblade wearing street gang too much for our heroes? How embarrassing would that be if the answer were yes? In the last issue, one of the bigger complaints I had was the fact that the comic didn't do a good job at introducing the audience to the characters. It was the first issue to a new series and it barely showed half of the characters on the cover, and there wasn't much in the way of backstory or context. Plus with the fact that it was tying into an event and a bunch of characters' personalities were topsy-turvy wasn't helping. This issue felt much better in certain regards and fixed a couple of problems. Captain America and the Avengers issue 2 does a pretty solid job of introducing all of the characters. Everyone here gets a chance to appear and give their own little demonstrations of who they are and what their powers are. Plus the narrative picked up the pace and had a nice hook to it, while the comic felt fun to read with some good banter and an overall fun superhero vibe. Frankly, with a bit of reworking and rearranging, you could have almost made this the first issue as long as you changed some scenes around. This was fun and shows some of the level of quality and entertainment that was previously seen with the previous Mighty Avengers book. However, there is still one big looming problem with this book, and that is the fact that it is tied directly into Axis. The whole situation with Axis is causing some bad continuity issues, ignoring the whole situation with Captain America and Luke Cage being inverted. Still not that good as an intro for new readers. There are parts that make absolutely no sense when you read the main event, and this first is She-Hulk. She-Hulk was on Genosha, didn't have a speaking part, but the event clearly showed her there at some point fighting. So why isn't she inverted or acting differently? If Cage and Wilson are different, why not her? Then there is the whole timeline situation regarding when this issue takes place. You can assume it takes place before Axis 5, since these heroes are still running around and active instead of being shrunken. But that makes no sense because of a problem with the ending, which brings us to the ending. The ending, which has a nice hook, raises a lot more problems because of the Axis. That's the thing that kind of confuses sometimes. The artist gets to show off a lot of dynamic poses for this battle too, as well as distinct use of setting and background. At times, however, the drawings feel a bit too stiff despite the extreme posing, and sometimes a bit disconnected from the background. Take for instance She-Hulk trying to punch green light. The anatomy is distorted on one arm. The distance between the figure and the wall punch is inconsistent, and the rendering is too bold and scratchy. Kalu's appearance is likewise strangely depicted, barely registering that he is in a laundromat for some reason and seemingly being in shadows that are not pleasingly rendered. Some of this problem might land with the colors, as the hyper-realistic backgrounds are often fading, washed out, making the figure awkwardly placed and looking more like drag and drop from another artboard. Spectrum's first appearance on panel is an example of this one. So if we go detail on this one, what stands out most in Captain America and the Avengers issue 2 is the fact that aaahhh is genuinely trying to build up the Mighty Avengers as the A-list like team, like the other branches of the team. Being seen as a threat to the main roster of Avengers at this time is the best way to say that they have become big enough that they are on the same level of or the same status as it looks like the heroes. The writing by Elwing is not problematic, however the pacing is still pretty solid. The story flows very well from page to page, and the storytelling and the structure aren't bad at all. The characterization is solid and matches with where everyone would be at currently, except for She-Hulk. The dialogue and exchanges between the characters are enjoyable, featuring plenty of good lines and moments. The entire sequence between the Mighty Avengers and the First Five is hilarious and so much fun to read. The sense of humor the book has is still great, providing a lot of good laughs. The ending, while extremely problematic when you actually think about it, does have a good cliffhanger to it and gets you a bit excited to see what happens next. The artwork is split between Luke Ross and Eben Coelho to varying success. Both styles of artwork are perfectly fine and look good. This is the last issue. This is the last page artwork, and this is the thing that came back, returned to the real Avengers. Okay, hope you guys will enjoy and wait for the issue 3. And if you like it, just hit the like button. And thank you for, and who doesn't have read it yet, just go to the store and buy this book and read it.